All right, perfect. All right, we are on, and like Beth said, I'm sure we're going to have more people popping on as we get started, but we respect everybody's time. We respect Celeste's time. It's 10:30, so we'll go ahead. Like I said, Beth and I will each ask her questions, and then you guys, if you have comments, go ahead and post them in the chat, and then we'll do our best to get those to her as well. And if we run out of time, she can always answer those at a later time as well. So for sure. Welcome, everybody. We're super excited to have Double Diamond Celeste Gwynn. Beth is Celeste level 1. I'm her level 2. We were all friends before Plexus. I'm sure y'all have heard our story before, so I won't get too into that. But Celeste is the one that introduced us to this business, and we are so grateful for her. So we just wanted to share, get her on here, answer any questions that you guys have. So I know everybody, like I said, I'm sure most of you have heard her story. If she wants to open up quickly with that before we get into some questions, we'll go ahead and get started.
Sure. Just share a little kind of how I got started on this journey.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. It's always funny because when I tell this story, I always feel like I go through it really fast because I think everybody's already heard it because I've been in this business for 5 years now. And but what I realize is after every single one, I usually get inbox message from someone saying, I never heard your story. So I do kind of like to share how I got started with these great gals. So really, truly was just on Facebook and surfing and spent a lot of time on Facebook back in the day before it made me any money. Wasted lots and lots of hours scrolling my newsfeed and saw a picture of my roommate from college who was also one of my best friends. She looked great. I called her up. I said, hey, man, what are you doing? I said, I want some. I said, you've lost all your baby weight. Your baby's 12 months old. My baby's 12 years old. I guess it's time for me to lose my baby weight too. It's kind of how that conversation went. And she shared the business with me, you guys, from the get-go. So you guys are all in her downline. She's the other double diamond in the company. Know that she did her due diligence and she recruited me from day one. And I scoffed. And like I did so often about network marketing and said, I'm not looking for a job. I'm not even looking for a hobby. I am super content, but I want the product. And I ordered, I had great success, lost about 30 pounds, felt better, was able to get off of antidepressants with my doctor's help in our products. And I was just kind of off to the races with feeling fabulous for the first time in a long time. And everyone in my world was noticing. During that first 9 months, I sent Jen Hawkins, I think 35 customers. Ariele, I think you were one of those, weren't you? Yeah. Yeah, Ariele had started ordering product from my best friend, Jen, who she didn't know at all because I wasn't selling it because I wasn't going to do network marketing. And
not to interrupt you, I was her customer for 9 months.
Yeah, me too.
I never met her.
Yeah. So same. 9 months later, she'd asked me to join her team no less than 15 times. And finally came to visit me. She told me she was coming to see my daughter in a play. I'm convinced now that she was manipulative and came so that if she saw me in person, she was convinced that I would join her. And I think she would own that. And that's okay, though. Best friends can do that, right? That's there. She knew I was an idiot. She told me that weekend. She's like, you're an idiot. You're ordering all of this product for your whole family. Like, why would you not join to get your product wholesale? And I said, dude, I don't know how that's going to help you. But if it's going to help you to order, to join or whatever, here's my credit card information, do it. Literally, like she set up my website for me, set up my passwords for me, like everything, because I was not going to work this business. Now, I think Jen would say she knew that I was an influencer. Only then she probably would have said Celeste has a big mouth and she's bossy. But I like to use the term influencer. I think it sounds a lot more positive than being bossy and having a big mouth. But Jen knew that I was going to share, that I was an influencer and I was going to share with my network because that's what I've been doing for her for 9 months. And like, I think probably the next day I was sitting at a volleyball game for my daughter. Someone said, wow, you look amazing. What are you doing? And it clicked in my mind. I have this website. Shared my website, boom, had my first order. And y'all, I got my first check. It was $2,000 for sharing about products that I loved. And it was my first paycheck of my life. So Beth and Ariele have told y'all I'm the #1 in the company. I was a stay-at-home mom from Anna, Texas. Don't blink or you will miss it. One stoplight. Nothing special about me. And I was an idiot that was a preferred customer for 9 months. So if I can do this business, if you don't take anything else away from this call, Celeste is an idiot. She can do this. I can do this. Write that down. It's true. I was off to the races, ended up, building really quickly, loved every minute of it. Still do 5 years later. Still doesn't feel like work. It still feels like a calling. It still feels like a huge blessing to get to change people's lives through this business and, ultimately through these products. I love it. And ended up, if you know the 11 ways to earn, re-entering on my 2-year anniversary and re-entering on my 8 month of joining, and then going double diamond on my 2-year anniversary with Plexus. So it's been a huge blessing. It's a huge blessing to take pressure off my husband. It's a huge blessing to get to watch so many of my great friends have financial freedom, including Ariele and Beths, who we met at McKinney Christian Academy where our kiddos were in school. It's a huge blessing to be able to give back to missions. That's a really big deal for me. Huge blessing to give to my church. Me and Beth had a big old long conversation about that yesterday of just how God is blessing this team, because we are a group of world changers, and we're loving that we have financial freedom and we don't have the stress, but we're also loving that we can give back when someone has a need. It's a really cool thing to be able to go, I can help with that. I can do that. So that's been the biggest blessing for me, besides just growing this team of, I think probably we're well over 400,000 strong at this point on our team. But just watching it change the lives of all those 400,000 people, and then thinking of that trickle down with those customers, and just to literally be able to say, that could be close to 1 million people. Truly, whose lives are changed from me getting over my pride of mocking and making fun of network marketing for 36 years and thinking that I didn't want a job or a hobby. And I love it that God brought it to me in a season that I really did need purpose. And it's just been so fulfilling and such a blessing to get to do this, especially with good friends like Beth and Ariele and all of you.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a crazy ride. And I say this when I tell my story all the time, and this team probably gets tired of hearing it. But Celeste, literally, we were all doing life together. There were several of us. I met Celeste. She was the first person I met when we went to McKinney Christian. Our kids were really good friends. And we did life together. And but she picked up the phone and called me and said, I want you to do this with me. And I promise you, if she would not have picked up the phone and called me, I wouldn't be taking Plexus right now. I would still not be taking the pink drink, because I would not have just seen her post and been like, I watched them, y'all, literally like the whole 9 months. And so 2 points from that. One is that if it took Celeste Gwynn 9 months to join Plexus, y'all got to be patient. I hear it all the time. Nobody's doing it. Y'all got to be patient. And number 2, you got to pick up your phone and call your best friends and ask them to do it with you. And I told her when I did it, I said, I'll sign up and order this wholesale, whatever, but I'm not doing this, right? And so, but she gently nudged me. She didn't leave it at that. And so take that. Like, seriously, if she was just posting on Facebook this whole time, I still would not be drinking pink. Not even like an ambassador, not even a customer. So take those 2 things away from this, because it's the truth. So, okay, so let's get started on these questions. Ariele and I are just going to go back and forth.
Okay.
And this one I like, because I know where you live and where I used to live, and so this is an interesting question.
Okay.
How do you address the "I'm too good for that industry" rich snobs that if they would get over themselves, they could change a lot of lives? So people that necessarily don't need the financial part of it. What would you say to that?
Well, so first of all, I would say, if your name's not Bill Gates or Donald Trump, you don't need the money. I find that really hard to believe, because there were people saying that about me when I joined. And left and right, y'all know this. Like, why is she doing this? We know she doesn't need the money. Why is she doing this? We know she doesn't need the money. First of all, I've paid for my kids' college. I've drilled water wells in Africa. I've been part of a church plant. Who doesn't want to be able to give back more money? Do you know what I'm saying? So for someone to say, I don't need the money, I'm going to go at them and be like, man, it must be good to be you, because I'll always take more, right? I'll always save more. I'll always invest more, and I'll always give more away. So that would be my first argument to that, is I know most people in McKinney, Texas, where we live, and I know there's a lot of comfortable people here, but who doesn't want more to be able to bless more, So that would be my first answer to that. And then my second answer, a lot of people do Plexus for a lot of different reasons. And a lot of times it's for the social aspect, right? I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I know I have legitimately made the best friends of my life because of this business. So to someone who might say, I don't need the money, I'm going to go, but do you need purpose? Do you want friendships? Do you want to have social options all the time of fun stuff to do with beautiful women and men that are motivated to change the world? Because that's meaningful. I mean, to have friendships that you do life with folks that you wouldn't have known without this business. So many people, don't forget that, join this business because they want meaningful relationships, and they want purpose. That has nothing to do with a paycheck.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think this has a negative connotation, and I don't mean it negative when I say it. And I think that you guys will all know what I mean. But I think we've done a really good job of kind of building like a social club, like a sorority atmosphere where people want to be a part of what we're doing because we've done a really good job at attraction marketing, right? We've done a really good job at making this look fun, because it is fun, and making it look appealing because it is appealing, and letting people see that we're changing lives because we are changing lives, and people are attracted to that.
I agree. Thank you.
No, that was perfect. Okay, next question. I had a few people send me this, so I thought it was a good one. How do you specifically pray for your team? I've seen you do this, and I want to implement it in my own life. So how do you specifically pray for your team?
For sure. Every single day, I start out my day with a cup of coffee. I know, shocking. We're Plexus people. I like my coffee. I still drink coffee every single day. And I start out praying for my team. And I pray for all of my jewels that are my level ones, and all my level ones, I should say, by name every single day. And I know some of you have seen, like when folks are trying to rank up, sometimes I'll post and then I'll write their names down and I pray for them by name. But listen, I mean, I don't want to take y'all to church. We don't need to have a Bible study right now, but you don't have to know the names of every single person on your team to pray for every single person on your team, because our all-knowing God knows the name of every single person on your team. So just pray, that they would be bold, that they would be passionate, that they would have success, that they would stay committed, that God would bless their efforts, especially your runners that are really, really doing their part and working hard. Every single day, I just start out my day just, thanking God, first of all, for this blessing. From day one, y'all, as the Silver Ambassador, I was doing backflips for that first check. That was my first check I'd ever received in my life. So I hit my knees on the 15th for sure, every single month, and just thank God, not just, don't just petition him for help, but make sure you're also praising him and thanking him for the blessing that this business is. And he will for sure reward you, and he will for sure bless that effort.
All right. Awesome. You're right about that for sure. Okay. So the next one, there were a couple people who asked tips on balancing your time. And then specifically, like when you go out, like yesterday, we had a little lunch, like how do you keep those like where they don't go 5 hours? Because we get to 5 hours for sure.
Well, okay. So yesterday at lunch, I know Diane, Ariele, and Beth were all there with me. I don't know who else. I don't know if anybody else was there. Y'all noticed I had an hour. When my hour was up, love you guys, I got to go, right? I had somewhere else to be 15 minutes later. And when I'm doing Zoom calls or three-way calls or meeting someone for coffee, it's just a good life lesson. This isn't just about Plexus. I set up the expectation from the moment I get on the call. Even today with you guys, I said we need to keep this at 45 minutes. Why? Because 20 minutes after this call, I have a lunch somewhere else, So I always try to set up the expectation with whoever I'm getting on the phone with whoever I'm meeting. All right, we're having a call. I got 35 minutes because 5 minutes later, I've got another call. So let's do this. I hope your family's well. Let's dive in. You know what I mean? I don't do a lot of small talk, and I just make it really clear how much time I have. Because my life is so structured, 20 minutes over on a lunch, I miss a call, and then, the rest of your day is in a downward spiral. So time management is, y'all know this, that they're close to me, hugely important to me, and I do a really good job with that. And I think that because I set that expectation before, people know what they're getting. When you asked me to come to lunch, you knew I wasn't going to set at lunch for 2.5 hours, right?
Yeah. Nobody
It's
has
just not my MO. And listen, there's a season for long lunches with your best friend, right? I'm not saying I don't ever do that. Roz Payne will come over and we'll sit on the couch for 3 hours on a Tuesday, but that's planned. I know from the Tuesday before, from 9 to noon on Tuesday, I'm going to sit on the couch with Roz, and that's okay. We're working the whole time, I promise you anyways. You know?
But I do think it's important, and you know this, and we talk about this too, to have that time away and just but if that means you need to schedule that time away, then it does mean you have to schedule that time away. And you know, like we had a business meeting yesterday, and yes, it was friend time, and yes, we did whatever, but you know, then we're like, okay, let's go have some friend time at a later date or whatever. And so I do think it's just important to put stuff on your calendar, you know, and be very intentional with your time. I think that's a key word, is being intentional with what you're set out to do at that point, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also with time management, I'm going to tell everybody on here, because it's not fair not to. I did not have balance at the beginning of this business. I worked 24/7. It's that work now like most people won't, so I can live like most people won't. And I saw the opportunity, and I knew that I was going to work my hiney off for a while. And y'all, I mean, life is good right now. Okay. I work way less than I did for the first 3 years. And I'm still getting that amazing residual income check because I did the time in the beginning. I still work now. I love this business. Like, I'll never quit working, but my time is way less focused on business and way more focused on my family at this season. But I did the time in the beginning. I mean, there was a point where Andrew said, if anything ever happened to me, my husband, he said he was going to remember me by light of iPhone glow, because it would be 2:00 in the morning and I would be frantically messaging somebody back that wanted Slim. I guess I didn't think if they wanted it at midnight that they were going to still want it at 8 a.m. So I had to do it right then. But I mean, I was just so excited about this business. And like I said, saw the opportunity that I put in that time early on, had no balance, to now have the freedom that I have now. And it was worth it. And my family will tell you it was worth it too.
Yes, our families have definitely benefited. And even though you have to miss something every once in a while, I'll get on my soapbox about that. Even though you have to miss every once in a while, they'll be okay.
Absolutely. If anything, your kids will be better off if they don't think they're the complete center of the universe. That's a whole nother, I could do like a women's Bible study on that, because I feel like my kids have flourished since I started Plexus. And I couldn't run every single homework assignment that they maybe left at home every single time. I still do it most of the time. Or I couldn't take Nathan's cleats up to the school every single time. Like, honestly, I think my children have become more independent, stronger, and I know they're super proud of me, and they love that they've gotten to see their mama accomplish so much and still be a stay-at-home mom. This has been nothing but a blessing as far as the way I've parented my kids. It's been good for them to see that I've got other things that are important and valuable to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Okay. So the next question I was going to ask, it actually kind of was that. And so I'm just going to quick point. It said, how many hours a day did you work in the beginning to get to Jewel? And we just kind of talked about that. But about it, Celeste did it really fast, guys. Beth did it in a year, and it took me 2 years. And I know that, like they said, in that time, we all sacrificed. We were all traveling, and I kind of look at it like I always tell people, like, oh, you go on so many vacations right now. I'm like, yeah, I work hard and I play hard. We all worked. I mean, like she said, it would be midnight. Beth and I, we'd be on the phone. It's how bad do you want it? You know what I mean?
For sure.
Well, and I think too, looking at it, and Celeste, you can talk more about your schedule. Like, the three of us are prime example. We were all in different phases. So Celeste was a stay-at-home mom, and so when her kids were at school, they were at school every day. Arielle had a business, and I was all over the place working all different kinds of places. And so anyways, but you can look at all of that. And even though I didn't have the same time as Celeste, and Arielle's time looked different than mine, because Arielle still had, I think she still had TT at home at that point, maybe, or she was still little. We all did it whenever we could.
For sure.
In those hours. And so she can tell you what her hours look like, but I joined 3 days after her, and my hours looked tremendously different because I was working. However, I still did it. Does that make sense? So let's you talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So I actually quit kind of going through my DMO because I had this epiphany on these, doing these Zoom calls. People would be feverishly taking notes of like what my daily method looked like. And what I realized was what you just said, Beth. Yours looked totally different. I always use Jen Hawkins as the example. My upline has 3 very small children. I have 2 kids in high school. Our days look really, really, really different, but we still made this business work. So it's like you said about fitting it in the nooks and crannies. And I think that sometimes that nooks and crannies, people think that means, so 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. And I'm going to tell you that with that the nooks and crannies, sometimes it was like that cranny was the size of a sidewalk crack. And sometimes it was the size of the San Andreas Fault. Some days I would spend 8 minutes on Plexus. Some days I would spend 8 hours on Plexus. So nooks and crannies doesn't always just mean shoot one text message here. Do a Facebook post. I mean, it means figuring out when you can have that time to focus on your business. And I would challenge anyone that says they don't have the time to keep a journal for like 3 days of what you do every single day. I will tell you, I don't know for sure about Beth and Ariele, but I do know for sure about me and Jen. I didn't watch TV or see a movie for about 2.5 years. I didn't know who won The Bachelor, and I'm okay. I'm actually way smarter probably because I didn't watch that trash TV for 2.5 years. So I would challenge anyone that says they don't have the time to really look at, listen, I want you to read. That's great. Readers are leaders. I read a lot. Great. But if you're reading, a Nicholas Sparks novel for an hour and a half every night, you have time to work your business. Read your Nicholas Sparks novel for 20 minutes, work your business for an hour and 10. I don't want to take your junk books away from you. I love Nicholas Sparks, by the way, so I'm not being ugly. I know. But anyways, you can find the time to do this. Talk about Beth, talk about Ariele, talk about Roz Payne working 60 hours a week. And she's able to get to Diamond, Senior, Gold. Y'all can do this. It's just back to that time management thing and figuring out what your DMO looks like. It doesn't matter what I do. You have to figure out what are you doing every single day that's income producing and then do it every single day, whether that's for half an hour, 2 hours, whatever that looks like.
Yep. I agree. Ariele, are you next? Or it's me. Sorry, I got confused. Those kind of merged together. Okay, so this is kind of a 2-part question.
Okay.
And they're kind of totally different, but they kind of go together. So I'll just tell you both of them. Because I know what I'm going to say, and it will help.
Okay.
How do you get your newbies to jump right into the business? So many tell me they want to see how it works first, and then how do you train your team?
So how do you get your newbies to start working the business right out of the gate? I think you talk to them immediately about going silver, but ultimately about going gold, right? Like I think every single one of my level ones has gone silver within the first week because I was doing life with all of these people before. I have not had a ton of success with just like the random relationships on Facebook and Instagram, right? I'm actually trying to build my network right now. That's a whole new thing I'm working on with hashtagging, and I'm trying to build some relationships with some new people that I don't know on social media. I actually went to dinner with a gal that I met on Instagram night before last. Andrew was like super nervous that it was actually going to be a guy and he was going to like chop me up into tiny pieces and shove me in the trunk of his car. So I had to like FaceTime him like when I saw the cute little girl that I was meeting, but I am working on that. But I think that for me, because these were folks that I was doing life with already, all of my level ones. I mean, I think what I told you, Beth, is exactly what I told everyone. Like, dude, you've got a mom, you've got a sister, and you've got a best friend. Get them on board. You're silver. You've got that bonus. Boom, off to the races. Because the way our comp plan is set up, you're rewarded so well in the beginning if you're working this business. When you get that first check, you're like, holy moly. I mean, that's all I did was share. Holy moly, all I did was go silver. All I did was get 3 people to join me. And that keeps you motivated. That keeps your people motivated from the very beginning. And then on that same first day, I talked to them about going gold. You need like 25 people in your network and your 1 through 3s. Like, that doesn't mean you have to sign them all up, 20, 25 people. You talk to them about going silver, you're there, and you're getting a really good bonus and a really good paycheck. And I'm showing them like how easy that is. That duplication. And I mean, I think you guys have been in this from the beginning with me. we've tried to overcomplicate things a little bit in the last few years. There's so many great training series out there and group pages and YouTube videos, and corporate gives us some great tools. But literally, we were just trying to duplicate that power of 3 in the beginning. I asked you to join me. I've asked 2 other people. I have all those people ask 3 people. Boom, you're gold so quick just by sharing. And I don't want us to, I like to simplify it, you know, keep it super simple. We moved quickly by being passionate and bold and sincere and sharing these products in this business. There was no I didn't know power of 3. I didn't even know the word duplication when you guys joined me. I just was like, you're going to love the products. Let's share them with everyone. This is what you do. And we were off to the races. Do you agree with that?
We didn't know what the products, honestly, y'all, back then, we took Slim and some of y'all took Accelerator. We didn't even know. I hadn't even started the products when I started sharing at all. But I knew that these 2 had started to, they've been taking for 9 months. And truthfully, I'll just say this. I had no clue what they were taking, and I thought they were crazy for 9 months. I really did. But I knew that they were okay after 9 months of taking it. And so I knew that I could believe in this because they had taken these products and I had watched them. So, we did not, at that point, we didn't even know that there were other products.
Right.
Celeste may have, I don't know, but I sure as heck didn't. We didn't even know that there were that. We didn't know that there was health benefits to this. We didn't know how to pronounce half of the words that we say now. And we just did it, y'all. We just did it. And what I will say about that too is, like I said before, I told Celeste I was not doing this business. She told me to post on Facebook, and I pretty much told her she was crazy. But she still
But you did it. Because I'm bossy.
I survived. But she gently nudged me. She didn't force me. She wasn't bossy in a mean way. She, you know what I mean? She, and if she had not been that way, if she just let me say, okay, well, she says she's not going to do this. She's wholesale. Guys, my life would be so different. I would still be that tired mama. I would still be working the 3 jobs that I was working. Scott would still be traveling like crazy. I would still be trying to live paycheck to paycheck and sweating how I'm going to pay for Christmas and my kids' school trips and that kind of stuff. If she would have just let me say, yes, I'm just going to be wholesale. And I think that's where we get choked up sometimes, is so many people sign up just to be wholesale, and we let them just be wholesale. And so I think it's very important to use her example that she gently nudged me because we were friends, and she changed. Because of that, my life has changed, truthfully.
Yeah, that's why no matter what, you've got to add every single person that joins your team to your team page. You have to make sure that you're reaching out to them about the possibility of sharing this business. I would say all but 2, actually maybe just Kelly Lee. I think almost all of my level 1 Jules told me from the very beginning they just joined to get their product wholesale. Kelly Lee was all about the business, and I think she's my only level 1 that went in with the business focus. Including myself, every single Joel on my team, including my upline, Jen Hawkins, we all signed up just to get our products wholesale. But we caught the vision quickly because of that duplication. Jen put that on me and said, man, we can do this as a business. We go to Hawaii together. And I was like, what? Hawaii? I'm in. Off to the races. Again, with you guys, same thing. Beth, you need this. I want you to be able to stay home with your kids. You need this, All right, off to the races. None of us, the day we signed up, had the intention of ever thinking that we were going to even be Jules, much less, leaders in this company. Do you agree with that, guys?
Absolutely.
I signed up because Beth signed up and you signed up, and I didn't want to be left out of all of our fun lunches we did.
That's exactly right. We're so glad you did.
It's true. It really is true. And that's what we talk about. Some people want to be a part of something. Obviously, Ariele has changed that a whole lot now. And I'm so thankful, but she did, because we all were doing life together. And so you can't just let somebody say, and guys, I'm not going to lie. There's times where certain people that I don't know very well will say that. And I'm like, okay. Who am I to make that decision for them, right? But I need to be better about it. I promise, she didn't let me. And those weekly checks started coming in because we started signing people. And when you start getting those weekly checks, you're like, well, I don't know exactly why I'm making this, but these weekly checks are great. And so I had purpose for those weekly checks. And so that started lighting my fire and started changing my why and all of that. So if you can get people getting those weekly checks, not even just the big commission check, but those weekly checks.
That's right.
Somebody hooked. And the other thing is, if you can get somebody involved to be a part of Plexus, meaning be a part of these things, go to the fun lunches. If you can make somebody be a part of something,
absolutely,
99%, they're never going to leave. And I have them that are even just wholesalers or whatever that are a part of this, that are a part of my team, that do life with my team and won't ever leave. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that some of those folks come out of the woodwork and end up being uber successful too. The ones that are just, here to be a part of something, you never know. I mean, those guys often end up being super successful in this business.
So how do you train? Like when somebody starts, how do you train them?
Onboarding. I mean, it was such a simple process. Now, what I will tell you now, it looks a lot different than it did then. So I really should tell you what I do now. Are you kidding me? I wish I had it in here. It's in the other room. But the success guide, are you kidding me? I mean, like, y'all, Successful Diamonds wrote that, right? It's like a collaboration of every diamond in this company, how we onboarded, all wrapped up with a nice little bow on it. I for sure start with that little bifold. It's like the first 10 things that you do. Here, I mean, it's amazing. Like the simplicity of it.
Yeah.
Do what?
It is that simple. That's how we train. On our trainings on Thursday, it's the twofold 10 ways to start. I mean, it's amazing. That's
where I start every single time now. And the funny thing is, that's where we started before. We just didn't have it all pretty, and glossy and lovely made for us. We were just doing it. But for sure, y'all, that success guide, if you haven't, please order that. It's so legit. It's a game changer for your business. Everything you and your new folks need to be successful is in that success guide. And I mean, that's not like I don't want to tell you exactly what I do. That is exactly what I do. You know what I mean? I mean, it's right there. And then, with Rank Up Roadmap, your folks that are serious, get them on Rank Up Roadmap. Yep, that's it right there.
This is what she's talking about right here in the success.
That's all you need to get somebody started. And they should have that too. If you're doing your part and making sure that they join with a welcome pack, they get that too. So you meet them for coffee, you get on a Zoom call like this with them, you open that up if you're not in person. On a phone call, you say, get out your quick start guide and you work your way through that list. It's so amazingly simple now. I wish we'd had all that 5 years ago.
Keep it simple, because when we first started, we didn't do all these intense trainings because we didn't even know. I mean, we didn't know to even do that, y'all. I mean, seriously, right. We talked, but we didn't know what to train on. We were just like, go tell your friends, and that's what we did. So,
right.
Yeah. So don't make it too hard. All right, Arielle.
All right, I'm trying to go through these questions because a lot of them are the same, like what do you tell a new person, all that. But somebody asked, and this is good, talking about Facebook Lives. We had Matthew Aaron on last week, and he was talking about the Facebook algorithms, the Facebook Lives. They want to know, how often do you go live now versus when you started? What do you recommend to somebody, let's say a silver gold, who wants to build this business, like using the Facebook? What is your recommendations for that on building a business?
I mean, I think going live is kind of almost just like posting. And what I would say is, don't only go live to talk about Plexus, because then people are going to go, oh, she's talking about that Plexus stuff again. I go live at my kids' sporting events. I go live at concerts. I go live with my crazy animals in my pasture. I'll go live, on my Nathan dancing around the living room. And then I'll go live to share my Plexus story, or I'll go live to share a special that we have going on right now. But I try to mix it up. So I think it's super important just in general to remember Facebook is not just for selling Plexus. It's not just for building your team, that your network is there to see you and to see your life. Don't lose track of that. Don't lose sight of that, because that's when people start unfriending and unfollowing you, is if that's all you're posting about. But I mean, I don't know. I go live in my team page probably only once a week now. I probably should do more. Look, I'm convicted. I'm taking notes. I'm going to start going live more. And then on my personal page a couple of times a week about different things, not always just Plexus. Just don't forget.
Go ahead. Artist has started something new, and I love it. She's right there, so I can see her, and it made me think of it. She's doing Tuesdays at 2 on her Facebook page, and it's like random. It's not, I don't think you've done Plexus yet, have you? But it's like okay, my daughter who's 10 and has always not cared about her hair, now cares about what her hair looks like. And so moms go on there and start chatting back and forth. And it's like, it can be some random talk, but it's just topics about life, but it's Tuesday at 2.
I love that.
And she goes on every Tuesday. So.
Oh, I love that. That's good stuff. And it's engaging, and it's getting people to engage on your Facebook. And when they do that, you start showing back up in their news feed often. That's awesome.
Yep.
That's cool.
Really quick before Beth asks her next question, I know we have like 5 minutes, but since we're kind of talking about this, I have a question because I'm trying to do more of it. So maybe it'll help somebody else. We kind of talked about this with Matthew last week too. Talk to me about Instagram. How do you use that? And because you said you just had dinner with somebody, a stranger that you met on Instagram. So was that through hashtagging? Was it based on Plexus post, or how, like people like us, how would me and Beth meet a stranger?
So first of all, I feel like I should apologize to all of you. If you follow my Instagram, I can't see all of your faces, but I'm pretty sure that none of you are the demographic that I'm trying to reach on Instagram right now. So if you're watching it and you're like, she is such a nut, or she is so, what is this? Like, what is she? That's not even English. Like, what is this that she's hashtagging? What is that word? You know, like slang, whatever. I will tell all of you, I have a 15-year-old son, a 16-year-old daughter, and a 17-year-old niece that all plan to join Plexus. And soon. They are all on my Instagram, along with about 8,000 of their closest friends that all follow me. So right now, I am using Instagram, and I am branding myself to millennials of, dude, my life is awesome. That's about it. Because that's what millennials want. They want to see me lunching. They want to see me being healthy. They want to see me working out. They want to see me on vacation because that's attractive to them. So right now I am building, I'm almost 10,000 strong, maybe 12,000. I haven't looked lately, from hashtagging to build my network of folks that I believe with every ounce of me will join my kids and my niece's team when they turn 18. They don't have to hit I believe, right? These kids have watched my kids ride my gravy train, my Plexus gravy train, for the last 5 years of having a great life, great vacations. My whole family is very, very fit, so we're living that aspect of health and wellness. Nobody in their network has to hit the I believe button that Plexus works, the business or the products. I believe every ounce of me. I'm putting so much pressure on my kids every time I say this, that they will break every record that I have ever made in this company, and they believe that too. So if you're following me on Instagram and you're like, oh my word, 17,000 hashtags, is that necessary? Yes. The way that hashtagging works, I know they talked about a little bit at Super Saturday. If I hashtag health and wellness and someone is curious about health and wellness and they search that hashtag, and then they see a picture that I posted, and then they go and look at my page, and then they decide to start following me, I don't always hashtag Plexus. In fact, most of the time I don't. It's fitness, exercise, health and wellness, cardio, gym time, gym and juice, fat, sick, and nearly dead. If you know that documentary, that's a great one to hashtag because everyone goes and searches that after they watch that documentary. I've built thousands of followers through these hashtags. Here's what else I will tell you. Don't just keep it about health and wellness. I will post a picture of entering Texas from Oklahoma. Don't mess with Texas. I love Texas. Texas pride. Whatever you post about your kids, soccer, youth soccer, mom life, coach mom, whatever that looks like, that brings people to your page. There's an app called Hash Me that I would encourage all of you to get. You can go on there, and if you're doing a juice bar post, you can put in juice, and it'll give you the top 50 trending hashtags that have to do with the juice. So the top ones, that's what you want to be posting, because that's how you're going to get people back to your page. Does that make sense? That was kind of a very long way to answer that. But
the person you met was not of somebody you knew. It was basically that was following you on your hashtags.
Yeah, they actually were following me from the juice bar.
Okay.
So I checked in at the juice bar, hashtag, and tagged at juice bar. They were like, oh, I'm always at that juice bar too. They started following me. I never met them. And then we got together, and actually we're going to brunch next Tuesday too. Yeah, Hash Me is the app.
Awesome.
Okay. One more, because I think we literally have 5 minutes with this one.
Cool.
Okay, so what is something you would tell your silver self, your best advice you give your newbies on how not to give up? I think that's good.
Okay, read it again.
Okay. What's something you would tell your silver self and the best advice you give your newbies on how not to give up?
Okay, so future self, it would be they're watching you. They're watching you, and they're going to see if you mean it. And by they, I mean everyone in your network. They're going to see if you're sticking with it. They're going to see, is this just some little thing that Ariele is doing? Then she's going to move on to the next thing. You know, does Betsy mean this? Or is this just like her flavor of the month? And then next month she's going to be selling candles. Like, what does this look like? They are watching you. And I can say that with great authority that so many people that watched me for years and years and years, some of them are just now joining me, or joined me in the last year, or joined me in the last 2 years, after watching me for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So
and
don't give up.
Are probably close friends, right? Like
a lot of them were very close friends, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the other thing would be, we talked a little bit about the rich snob thing and the caring what people think thing in the very beginning. And it would be, don't care what people think. You know, I love that meme. I cared what you thought about me till I tried to pay my bills with your opinion. I stinking love that, because there's so much truth in that. You know, people are attracted to confidence. And if you are bold and confident about what you're doing and not, yeah, it's social marketing. Yeah, I'm selling supplements. I mean, I really like them. You know, dude, no, yeah, I'm a social marketer. This has changed my life. These products have changed my life. Sharing is caring. I'm telling you about this because it's changed my life, period. If I didn't care about you, I would keep it to myself. Yep. Boldness is so attractive.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
All right. Ooh, that was a quick answer.
Yeah. Do you want one more? We have a couple more. Do you want one more or no? Do you have 2 minutes to answer one?
Yeah, we can do one more.
Okay. Let me see which one. You kind of talked about them. How did you achieve massive momentum and duplication?
I focused on my runners and I focused on my level ones. And listen, there's nothing wrong with loving on your 2s, 3s, and 4s, and absolutely please run with your runners, especially if your only runners are your 2, 3s, and 4s, because that can get you to jewel. But I focused on my level ones and I tried to love them well, train them well, and back to the prayer, prayerfully prayed that would duplicate down, and it did. You know, and I also was super blessed that I was doing life with folks that were leaders, that were motivated, that were driven, just like I was, you know, I mean, that wanted it. And so that duplicated down because they were doing life with people like that, and they were doing life with people like that. So definitely blessed that I've been pouring into relationships for 36 years, had a lot of people that trusted me. But as far as the duplication, it was really just focusing on training my level ones, telling them, now you go do the same thing.
And she does. I mean, she's like, you can do this and go. You know, it's not.
Like, I'm not like, I don't spoon feed you, right?
Yeah, she's not a babyer for sure. And I mean, that's
your baby bird and fly out of the nest.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
You need to know, and you go. You know, I mean, not that I. You know, we still have conversations, but like,
yeah,
she doesn't. If I need an answer to something that she knows I can go get out of the success guide or on her team page, she's going to let me go do that instead of finding the answer for them. And that's something I've had to learn, because my personality is just to do it for you. And that is a wasteful time, a lot of things. Some things, obviously, we can't. And so, I mean, I'll call her if I have an issue that I need her to go help with. But I have the same resources she has. I mean.
Right, that's what I always say. We all have the same tools. It's a level playing field. We have the same tools, same comp plan, same products. It's what you do with it that decides whether you succeed or fail, you know. But you have the same opportunity that every single other person in this company has.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's 11:15, and
okay.
Thank you so much.
You guys are
there's
awesome.
a couple of questions that I'm going to answer are just like, that are on here. But I know you have a lunch, so
okay.
Are you? Let's come like that. So we know you need to hop off. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you guys. I always like to let everyone know how blessed I feel to even have you guys on my team. And I know that I'm successful because you guys are successful and you guys are motivated and you're committed. And it blows my mind that God has chosen to bless me and Beth and Ariele and all of us. Kim, I see Kim Watson on there. Just that God has chosen to bless us beyond our wildest dreams because we said yes. And we said yes, talk about that duplication, that trickle down. Y'all said yes. And then the folks under you said yes. And it's just such a joy to get to do these calls and kind of feel like I can connect with you guys a little bit more on a personal level. So thanks for the opportunity for sure.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to log off and go to lunch.
All right. Have fun.
It's a
Bye.
business lunch. It's not just lunch. Don't judge me. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Okay, I'm going to stop recording though.
Yeah, that's perfect.